if the frontline workers were able to all get on the same page and unite under this category, you would have better numbers than the strongest union in the country.
Hey, Bobby, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview today.
Of course, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. So, just for our viewers, so Bobby is a member of NCFW and is also a firefighter in New York City, correct?
That is correct.
Wonderful. And now I understand that you were out of work for 10 months. And is it true that you just returned to work? Tell me,
Yes,
tell me a
yes.
little bit about that.
Yep. So I was out of work for about 10 months and I was recently put back to work, which was a tremendous win, tremendous sigh of relief in my household. My fiance sleeps a little bit easier, as do I right now. So very, very good time in my house.
I would imagine I cannot, it's hard to even fathom what not only you, but your fiance, the rest of your family must have gone through in this time that you were out of work.
Sure, sure. Well, put it that good example is she stayed my fiance because we scrapped all wedding plans and because everything, we lost everything. So we had
Yeah,
no savings and it was just falling into debt. So it was not a good time to plan a wedding.
yeah. Well, my heart goes out to you. And I'm very happy to hear that you were able to push through just, on a personal note with your family.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And I believe that we're stronger for it, right? They say the hotter the temperature, the harder the steel. And I would say we are pretty hard and steel at home. Our relationship has never been better. And I think that's partly because we made it through that storm.
Yeah. You're a lot of people in this space are big fans of High Res and Jimmy Levy, and they just released that song United We Stand, and your words are just reminding me of the lyrics of that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like I don't
he's
I don't know the
fantastic.
exact lyrics, but have you heard that song?
Yes, I did. He's great. He
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah. What doesn't they every single thing they try to throw at us made us stronger, something like that.
Yep.
Wow. All right. So tell me a bit about I would love to hear a bit about this lawsuit victory. So just tell me a bit more about the timeline. So when did you find out that you were no longer able to work? And then when did you find out that you could return?
Okay, so I was actually put back to work. So I had put in a religious accommodation request, and that was denied. And then I put in an appeal, and then I would say they kept me on leave without pay throughout this process, and then eventually denied the religious appeal. Believe that happened in mid-July, right? And at that point, I knew I was going to be faced with termination, and I came across an allergy test. And I was just talking to my fiance. We made ourselves a promise that we would explore every option before we were forced to pick between actually getting terminated or being vaccinated, right? And what we ended up doing was we paid for this allergy test just to see if maybe my body maybe didn't take to one of the ingredients that are present within the shot. And I remember uh, praying the rosary, while I'm driving to the doctor's office, and just because I knew it would make my decision a lot easier if there was, I medically couldn't handle the vaccine.
Sure.
And sure enough, I went there, and by a miracle of God, it did show that I was allergic to ingredients that were present in the vaccine. So then that began the medical RA process. So I was about to be terminated, and then I submitted the allergy backup to the FDMY, and again they kept me on leave without pay until they reviewed that, and that was again another few months of review of the medical RA, and then we, thanks to a lot of pushing and kind of trying to push this along, they approved the medical RA for us to return to work. So the win in the lawsuit, which I know, I'm sorry I didn't answer the question, but
No,
the
it's
win in
fine.
the lawsuit wasn't actually to that wasn't the reason I'm back to work right now. If that was the case, I still wouldn't be back to work. So I know there might be some confusion there. I'm back to work because of the medical RA that granted me the ability to go back to work. And then the lawsuit was in regards to how we were not treated fairly throughout the religious accommodations process.
Got it. And apologies if you just stated this, but just looking for clarity on when the legal victory happened and how that compares to the date of the religious exemption win, I guess I'll call it.
Okay, so I was just repeat that one more time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's totally okay. I'm looking for clarity on when did you actually go back to work? I guess let's start there.
It was just before October, maybe September 29th.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
So what then is the congratulations, first of
Thank
all.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
What then is the help me and our users understand then what is the significance of the most recent legal victory? Is that added protection should something go wrong again? Just help me to understand that a bit.
Yeah, so there was two major wins with that. Well, I guess three from a moral standpoint as well. But the two major wins was the grant that I was given to return to work from the medical standpoint was provisional, and it could be revoked at any time should they choose.
Hmm.
And that's not a great layer of security when you're trying to, you know, get some solid footing underneath you, and you know that at any point it can kind of be stripped from you. So what the Article 78 win was allowed me to get permanent working status that can't be stripped from me given new information. And the other thing was, although the medical RA allowed me to go back to work, there was no back pay entailed with that. So the win for the Article 78 is what entitled me and my fiance to get the back pay throughout the whole time they kept us on leave without pay.
Congratulations on that as well. So are you actively receiving that or is it still being held?
I am not actively receiving that yet, but from your mouth to God's ears, hopefully I will get it soon. But that is like another litigious game, another fight that I'm sure the city will continue to fight. So it's I don't have anything yet, but we did just get the Supreme Court to rule in our favor. So it's just the next steps. You know, I wish I had a better answer, but I'm not giving any answers on timing.
Totally. And are you at all concerned about the city's appeal to this case?
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess that's the simplest way to put it. I'm absolutely concerned about the appeals. Um, I don't know how these things go. I haven't seen, no one has made it through the appeals process yet. Not that anyone has been overturned in the appeals, but no one has made it through. So even if they can use it as another measure to drag their feet, right? That seems to be the pattern of the city, of these processes. The RAs they just kept us on leave without pay for 8 months while they were reviewing RAs. How many RAs were they reviewing? Did it really take the city 8 months to review the last remaining RAs, or is it more of a drag your feet? We're going to look at for any outlet to drag our feet. And now we're here. The Supreme Court ruled in our favor. Doesn't seem like they're bringing any new information to it, but it does seem like it opens up a new outlet where they can now drag their feet. Everyone thinks that because you won, you're now back to work and your back pays in your bank account already. And that's unfortunately not the case. Seems like there's more fights and more dragging in the pipeline after that.
Yeah. So is it fair to say that we can still, those who are in support of you returning back to work, which I would assume is the majority of the NCFW community, is it safe to still celebrate, even though we're kind of in this awkward phase where you're not getting your back pay yet, you don't really know what's going to go on with this appeal? Is it still safe to say, you guys, we can celebrate this, or should we be cautious?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, you if you're not celebrating the whole way, I don't think you're going to make it through this fight, right? So the question is, Can we start celebrating now? I think we should. I think you need to, because even when I got back to the firehouse, everyone was so happy for everything, my return back to work. Everyone was thrilled to see me there. And what's the next question? Did they give you that retro check? Did they give you? And I would tell them, one fight at a time. We gotta win. We will get there. We will make all of this right. But it's going to take time, but I believe you need to be celebrated. Me and my fiance wouldn't had made it this far if we weren't taking time to celebrate the little wins. And she's better at that than I am, because I'm always focused on the next thing, and she's the one who will, pour me a bourbon and say, okay, but hey, we did all right. So let's have one together and just enjoy this. So thank
What's
God
this?
I
What,
would not have made it without her.
what's this fiance's name?
Samantha.
Samantha. Congratulations to you and Samantha,
Godsend.
Bobby.
She's a godsend.
Yeah, kudos to you, Samantha. So you brought me to my next question. You started to help me to understand a bit about what that return to work was like for you, and this
Mhm.
big piece, this celebration piece. I can just feel it in my heart. It's so exciting that I just so appreciate how much you prioritize that piece, and I believe the users will as well. So I would love to know a little bit more about that. How did the crews that you were closest to react to you coming back?
Oh, it was great. Going back to work was one of the best experiences, and you learn a lot throughout these processes, through these hardships, but it also helps you sift out not only people, because obviously I think we all lost some friends and families and relationships in terms of this whole hot topic, but it was just so great when you're back and everyone's so happy to have you back. And it was it for me personally, it reminded me of how much I've always wanted to be a fireman. Always wanted to be a firefighter since I was little. And what was good about this whole process is nothing has changed on that front. Even if I have mixed feelings about the city or my employer, I've always wanted to be a firefighter, and now I'm get to do it again, and it's just the best thing in the world. There are things that you're good at in life, and there are things that God put you here to do. Like, God put me here to be a fireman, and now I'm getting to do it again, and I'm on cloud nine, and it just makes you appreciate it. It's when you understand that everything is temporary, and things are going well, but things could not go well tomorrow. And when things are temporary, it's just a little bit sweeter, right? So it's been very good being back. It reminded me of how much I really do love this job and doing what I do, and I'm just going to enjoy it for as long as I can do it.
Congratulations to you. That's another thing that I find. I spoke with Matt and a board member of NCFW for those of you who are watching about his return to work. He has a somewhat similar story, and I'm noticing a trend in a lot of you guys or gals who have experienced a situation like this. You held on to this dream and this career, not because you need a job and you found a job that you like, but because you truly believe that this is a calling. So
Yeah.
this goes way beyond politics. This goes way beyond, the fighting that we have with one another. This is something really deep. And I just appreciate you sharing a bit of that depth with me and with the users, that this isn't a game. This is our calling. This is what I believe I'm chosen to do, and I'll do
Yes.
whatever it takes to say yes to that calling.
Absolutely. Spot on.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I have a really good understanding of your story, at least for now. I'm sure we'll do this again. Hopefully, we'll do this again,
Yes.
especially as we start to figure out. Bobby, when you get that back pay, call us so we can do another
Yeah.
interview and we can share that celebration.
Another celebration, another bourbon. Yeah, sounds great.
So I would love to know, this interview will be posted on NCFW's YouTube channel and some of the other social media channels. So help us to understand and help the users who are not members of NCFW to understand why you made the choice to join this organization.
So I made the choice to join NCFW because one, after speaking with some of the heads, minds in control and spending time with them, you see that their intentions are pure, their hearts are in the right place, and more so than that, they actually have the tools to execute on what they're speaking about, right? And I can't tell you, I only have 8 years with the fire department. I was never a big union guy to begin with, right? But I always found it quite comical that, when you work at all these different firehouses and you hear the opinions of so many different people from all walks of life, and they are all in agreement that this candidate is the right person, right? Even when you feel like, when you see that it's unanimous across the board from firehouse to firehouse, and I'm not even speaking, I'm just absorbing what they're saying. And oh, this guy I heard not good things, and this girl I did hear good things. And you go another one, you hear the same feedback, and then the union comes out, and who do you think they're publicly endorsing? The guy who you don't hear great things about. And I'm not saying that everyone in the union does vote that way, but it's almost a joke because you hear an overwhelming majority speak great things about one candidate, horrible things about another candidate. And since I've been on this job, we've always endorsed the candidate that I didn't hear one good thing about. And I just thought that was interesting because at that point, you start wondering, is the union or the organization that we're part of actually have our best interest at heart, when it's pretty overwhelming and it's fairly obvious that the members that you're supposed to be advocating for feel a certain way, but you're going another way, and without really giving us any fair reason, right? So I thought NCFW was doing well because they would post an interview about, hey, we did an interview with this person. Make your own assessment. Tell us what you think, and that's what's going to be the way this thing goes. There's accountability there. There's information that they took time to go and gather. I think that's an important thing. You empower the members, you let them make the decision, instead of kind of saying, no, we know what's best and just trust us. That's some mom and dad stuff. Well, it's the right thing because I said so. No, it's give us some information, let us make a decision, and majority rules. I think that's the healthiest way to run it. Seems like that's the way they're running it, and I respect that. I respect that a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if there's another organization that does endorsements quite this way. It seems pretty special and pretty unique, especially for a combined frontline workers. So NCFW members go beyond firefighters like Bobby.
Yes.
It's healthcare workers, fire service, it's law enforcement, and it's career volunteer retired. So it's a very unique group of individuals. I believe it's unprecedented that an organization like this exists. And I'm just so grateful to be here to get to share this story. And I really appreciate hearing your take on this. It's really cool to hear directly from the member, from a member of NCFW to help me and users understand this referendum voting system. And it sounds like you really appreciated those interviews, which I also saw, and all members are able to see these interviews. So they do. It's true. The board does a lot of research on political candidates, and they will continue to do so in the upcoming elections. And then they present a video, they present this interview to members, and you actually have an opportunity to go online and vote who you want the organization to endorse. So if you look through the NCFW social channels, especially the Instagram, you'll see some of the pinned posts. And if you go on a deep dive, you'll see everyone we endorsed for the most recent elections. And it's a very transparent process. So I just want to say, I guess, thank you for helping us to understand your experience with that system.
Yeah, the hard work does not go unnoticed by the whole organization, and it is appreciated by members like myself.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Bobby. Why don't you couple more questions and we'll wrap this up. Thank you for staying on over time. Just let me know if you need to end. I have two more questions. How has NCFW helped you specifically?
Honestly, they've been a great backbone of support. It's good to know that there is support for people like me who are in our situation, the leave without pay. Obviously, the majority of the fire department did get vaccinated. There was majority unvaccinated, and then once the mandate came out and people's backs were put up against the wall, most did get vaccinated. And I understand that you needed to, right? Everyone's situation is different, and not everyone had the flexibility that me and my fiance had. So, but that being said, now you're out of the fight a little bit, or even if they're not out of the fight, or even if they do support what you're doing, that life has to go on for them, right? So then you start to get disconnected from the people that you were always very connected with, because they're in a different part of life, and you're now struggling with a new hurdle that you wake up with every day that they don't have. So then you start to feel isolated, and you start feeling like I got to climb this mountain by myself, or just me and Sam, and that's a very overwhelming place to live. And then you come across people like Sam Eaton and Kimberly Overton, and you start realizing that there are people who feel just as strongly about this topic as you do, and they're willing to go the distance like you are. And even if they're not personally struggling, they are there and giving their time to something that means very much to me and my family. And it's you need that. I think everyone needs that. You're not conquering anything by yourself. You need a support system somewhere. And just I remember that first day I spent with them. It was, we were laughing, and you just felt like, look at this. This is boots on the ground around the country who feel strongly about things that I feel strongly about. And you instantly connect with them. And I thought it was great. It was a great experience.
Yeah, so it's the community and the shared values that really seem to be closest to your heart in terms of
Yeah.
being with NCFW. Why don't you answer for me just one last question? Why would you encourage other frontline workers to join this organization?
Why would I encourage other people to join is that if this organization is able to get the word out and people could see what they'd be capable of, it's a numbers game, right? This thing can be pivotal, will be pivotal because of the numbers. You've pointed out before, frontline workers is it's not super broad topic, but it does cover more than just firefighters or EMS workers. What the teachers union is so incredibly powerful. Why? Because of the numbers. They have the largest numbers in the country. But if the frontline workers were able to all get on the same page and unite under this category, your numbers could not only rival but beat them, right? Have better numbers than the strongest union in the country,
Yeah.
and they hold so much influence because of those numbers. So there's so much potential there, and you'd want to be a part of something like that, something that could actually have influence and sway things the right way. You agree with them, and they have the capabilities of real change. So I find that the numbers is more than enough to just swing me here. Aside from knowing the people personally who are working on this, just the potential is exciting.
It is. And for anyone who might be stumbling across NCFW for the first time, we're talking about an organization that just launched months ago in August, I believe. So this is the beginning of something incredibly special. I do believe that with my heart, and it sounds like you do as well, Bobby. And we
Yeah.
would just invite anyone watching this, if you're a frontline worker, career volunteer, or retired, go to frontlineworkers.org, and I'll link that link down here in the comments, and consider becoming a member. And at the very least, you can donate just to support the efforts further. And Bobby, I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you taking the time to interview today. If there's anything else in your heart, you're welcome to share. Otherwise, we could go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah, I appreciate so much your time and the support that you guys have given me throughout the process. And I just encourage the whole team to keep up the good work. For anyone fighting this fight, know that victories are here. Celebrate them along the way, and I'm grateful. Every day I wake up grateful.
Victories are here, and celebrate them along the way. That's a wonderful way to wrap this up, Bobby. Thank you so much. And anyone watching, go ahead and share this if it inspired you, if it moved you. Let your friends and family know about NCFW. All right, be well.
All right, thank you. Have a good